Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome in to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here Monday, May 19th. Just got back from Jaguars OTA, number one of the James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, Tony Baselli era here in Jacksonville. OTA number one in the books. There's a lot to get into. It was hot out there. It was fun. It was high energy. Now, no pads. There was some 7-on-7, some 11-on-11, a little bit of special teams. There was some tempo practice on the offensive side of the ball. Again, a lot of energy out there, whether it be from the players or the coaches. There were not fans today, so it was just the team and the media out there. And so that is obviously a little bit different than what you saw last week at rookie minicamp, where fans are out there getting fired up from everything Travis Hunter was doing and firing the team up as well. So you don't have the fan energy, but there's high energy from the coaches and the players, and that's what you want to see out there. It was cool just, being able to see Trevor Lawrence and being able to see the veterans and the rookies together now for the first time out here. The media, first time seeing them together. Trevor Lawrence being able to throw, obviously had the offseason shoulder surgery, looking healthy. Right? He didn't throw for 3.5 months, but he started throwing a couple weeks before they started getting into the offseason program here. And, I don't think that there's any issues right now or real limitations with that. It looks like, obviously, I'm not trying to speculate on the injury or anything like that, but he ran through the whole practice playing quarterback for the Jaguars, right? So that's what you want to see from QB1 in terms of from a health standpoint. Travis Etienne, I just thought it was interesting. Only running back that really didn't do much on special teams. And I think that's probably the top guys at each position aren't going to do a whole lot on special teams. So I think that's kind of how the Jaguars are viewing that situation at this point. Caught some passes today, looked really good, looked really explosive. You can't forget this is a talented guy that prior to last year, he had 2 straight incredibly productive seasons for the Jaguars. I think that's something to keep in mind heading into this 2025 campaign. Travis Hunter. I didn't know about this, but apparently there's some stuff going around on the internet where Travis Hunter isn't a good route runner or he hasn't been playing well. He's going to be a bust, whatever it may be. I don't know how anybody could really look at what we have seen so far and make an honest prediction really either way. I mean, my opinion on Travis Hunter is one thing, which we can talk about, but just taking anything you have seen from this limited amount of practices and trying to extrapolate that across, well, he doesn't know what he's doing at receiver. He's going to be a bust. This isn't going to work out, is foolishness. It's absolute foolishness. At this time last year, Brian Thomas Jr. was struggling to catch passes. I told everybody, pump the brakes. Give the kid a little bit of a chance here, right? He turns in a magnificent rookie year. And again, I'm not saying that's what's happening with Travis Hunter. I'm just saying trying to really make big sweeping takeaways from a time period in May is really mistaken. It's foolishness, in my opinion. Now, what I've seen from Travis Hunter over the first couple of practices is somebody who's incredibly explosive. And they've been out there on the grass without the media at times. So first couple practices I have seen, looks incredibly explosive. Great ball skills, as we all know. If you watched him in college, he had a beautiful extension earlier today. It was just offense only. It wasn't a team period, but 2 hands extending for the football. I thought he looked really good. Liam Cohen said after practice he had a couple missed assignments that he immediately was coming off the field owning it, talking about how he messed up on a couple of those things. So anything negative coming out on the internet about Travis Hunter I think is really foolishness. And I actually haven't seen any of it. This is just what I heard from people today at practice, people talking about a little bit. That's wild, man. I mean, look at what this guy has done throughout his career. The ball skills, the talent level that he has, the explosiveness as an athlete, the energy he brings between the whistles and after the whistles. So, yeah, I think Travis Hunter had a pretty good day, and he's looked really solid. And, I mentioned Brian Thomas Jr. kind of struggled early on during his rookie year from a OTAs and stuff, it took him a little while to get going. And once he got going, he really did. And he had an unbelievable year. And now he's viewed as this guy who's going to be like a top 10 receiver year in and year out. And I think he will be. Well, guess what? He had some drop passes today too. Nobody's going to freak out over that. Nobody should freak out over that because he's a great football player. This is May practice. This is the first time that all these guys are coming together and playing football together with a new coaching staff, a lot of new players. Trevor Lawrence, again, coming off the injury. Like, there's no reason to overreact, to be one of these people on the internet who's honestly just acting like an idiot, right? You don't need to overreact one way or the other to May football. Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. dropped 3 passes today. Who cares? I don't care. I don't care at all. It doesn't matter. And, Trevor Lawrence, he got picked off twice today. Does that matter? No. It's so early. Anybody trying to just determine how this season's going to go after these first few practices, it's like, come on. But Lawrence was, on one play, overshot Travis Hunter and said Travis Hunter ran the right route. He was in the right depth, and he just overshot him a little bit, and Darnell Savage was able to get his hands on it, pick it off. And then you also had Lawrence talked about this one too. There was a little miscommunication with Parker Washington on a curl route where Trevor was expecting him to kind of be leaning in one direction. He leaned in the other direction. The ball went to the other side, and then Parker wasn't able to haul it in. He tipped it up, and Jarian was able to go get it, Jarian Jones. So cool to see Jarian making play, Darnell Savage making a play. You saw Ventrell Miller make a really nice interception off of John Wolford. It was a play where I'm sure Wolford didn't think Ventrell Miller was going to get up high and get that football, but he was able to. It was a great play. And then the other interception today was also off of John Wolford. Duval kid was picked off by McPherson. So, yeah, that's where they were at today in terms of the interceptions. Some other things that popped out to me a little bit. Josh Hines-Allen, 2 guys for me. I think you could say maybe offensive and defensive MVP. I'll say Josh Hines-Allen was the defensive MVP. He was able to pick up a fumbled handoff between Trevor, and I think it was really more on Tootin, maybe having a little nerves out there practicing with the vets. And obviously that's not great because Tootin had issues with the fumbles in college the last couple years, and getting out there, you don't want to have that as your first impression. But he did settle in. I thought Bashal Tootin did, and he's so fast and so explosive with the ball in his hands. I thought overall, outside of that, he had a good practice, but obviously that's something that's going to be a storyline you have to watch just because that's kind of what the issue was coming out of Virginia Tech for Tootin, and you don't want to see that continue to pop up. But overall, outside of that, I think that running back room is really explosive. I mean, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Bashal Tootin, all really explosive guys. I wouldn't say like LaQuint Allen is like the most explosive runner, but he's got skill as well, and we're going to talk about him in our deep dive tomorrow. I believe he'll be the final draft pick we do the deep dive on. But Josh Hines-Allen was able to go get that football. He also chased Trevor to the sideline for a would-be sack/short gain. I couldn't tell exactly. And Josh Hines-Allen not putting as much pressure on Trevor Lawrence there as he would have put on an opposing quarterback, obviously. So that was a nice play from Josh Hines-Allen, and he's regularly one of the most impressive guys at practice. That's kind of how it goes. Regularly one of the most impressive guys in the games. So, and then offensively, De'Ami Brown, I thought played really good, both in like individual, team, and then, whether it was literally just the receivers running routes on air, whether it was the receivers catching passes from the quarterbacks, and then 7-on-7, 11-on-11, De'Ami Brown he looked really professional, really, just smooth. He's a great athlete, as we all know. I mean, you've seen him get down the field. He's somebody that I thought really made sense with his skill set with Liam Cohen's offense. Liam Cohen has a great screen game. De'Ami Brown is great in the screen department. He's got that verticality as well. He showed some good footwork on the sideline. So I thought he was really good. He also had a carry in this one. Nice run. So De'Ami Brown, very nice practice for him. Nice first impression in front of the media, at least. You did see some tempo later in practice, as I mentioned. During that period. You saw Britton Strange catching the ball a lot, which he is the Jaguars tight end one. There's no question about that. So good to see him getting involved with Trevor there. I saw Tank Bigsby make a leaping grab on the sideline. Obviously, one of the things for Tank has been his ball security and ability to haul in passes. So you want to continue to see him be able to do that, because I think from a running standpoint, he is poised to be very impressive in this scheme. A lot of rotating on the offensive line. Not going to get into the who was with the ones, who was with the twos, etc. Just understand there's a lot of rotating, a lot of competition with the offensive line, and I think that's how they're going to operate here early on, while things kind of while guys settle in and while they kind of get a better feel and picture how they want to do things. But there was some rotating. After practice, Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski all met with the media. So you kind of got the, obviously, quarterback, the offensive head coach, and then the offensive coordinator speaking with the media. I thought that Trevor said some things that were very encouraging to me about the system, and they're not surprising things because you know where this system comes from. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan, like that's where it all derives from. And kind of, he said that this system gives everyone a lot of answers, and it's not the easiest system because there's a lot of information to unpack, but once you start unpacking it and really getting a feel for it, and it becomes second nature instead of thinking out there. He said the answer is always there. He said you never feel like you're in a situation where you're in a play where you just don't have anything to get to that's going to help you. The answers are there, and he also talked about how they kind of can make everything look the same to the defense, which is that illusion of complexity you always hear about with the McVay offense. And so I think that's going to be really good for Trevor. And they continue to talk about that footwork. I mean, that continues to kind of be maybe a bigger storyline than it needs to be, but the footwork is intentional with the dropbacks and marrying up where his feet are, where his base is in relation to when he's getting to different progressions in the play, in the passing concept, right? So I think that that's obviously really good to hear. But Trevor's having a good time out there. He owned the mistakes that were made today. And again, it's not one of these situations where anybody should be hitting the panic button. It's May 19th. And then I really liked the energy from Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski in the press conference. You keep hearing these words from them, and it's not just talk. Like, this is a organization from the top down. James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, to Liam Cohen, to the coaching staff. They're so focused on efficiency, time management, time optimization, intentionality in everything they do. Every single drill is supposed to translate to some part of the game. There's nothing that they're doing out there that's just kind of going through the motions. It's designed to help everybody get better. And so I think that that's going to be one of the biggest things with this regime, is intentionality in everything they do, and also time efficiency. So I think that that's going to be something to continue to monitor. And overall, my impressions were, don't take too much away from like the on-field results. There's a lot of new situations these people are being put in from a player standpoint. But I thought Travis Hunter looked good. I thought there was some, really good play out of De'Ami Brown and Josh Hines-Allen, and we're going to continue to monitor this throughout the offseason. Next time they'll be on the grass that we will be out there, I believe, is next Tuesday, May 27th. But stay tuned. We're obviously going to continue talking about this team for the rest of this week until we get out there on the grass again next week, and trying to get 2 shows a day out for y'all. Really appreciate you supporting the channel, and just the growth that we've had here recently has been really cool to see, and I just can't thank y'all enough. So if you do enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. That'll help us continue to grow and keep tuning in, and we will keep doing our best to get you the top quality content that you can get on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Y'all have a good one.